Good morning, everyone. Oh, testing, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Christina Araoka, and welcome. For our welcoming hymn, we'll be singing Swimming to the Other Side. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit, and join us in singing.
We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I'm alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side, to the other side.
Seated. Good morning. Good morning. It sort of feels like April outside, doesn't it? We'll take it with some clouds, and it's going to be 75 today. This is heaven. And we hope to create this safe space of joy, of sorrow, any emotion that you have. We want this place to be safe for you. My name is Reverend Rob, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation here in Fullerton, California. Whoever you love, however you identify, whether it's spiritually or with your sexual orientation or gender identity, we want you to know that the center of our ideals is love. That is the map that we start on. And that is the foundation upon how we try and live our lives in here and out there. UUCF acknowledges this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Hachiman, the Kizh, and the Tongva peoples. May we continue to have the humility and courage and action with the words that we say out in the world, and have a new solidarity with Indigenous communities and the earth. We've got a lot of announcements, so let's get to them quickly. If you are new here, even during the summer, there is a lot going on. Pat Mannion has his last meditation class today at 1 o'clock, so you can join him in the choir room for the meditation class. Social Action has a lot going on. You donated and we assembled 38 summer activity boxes for Fullerton School District. We want to thank our religious explorers, our youth, and all of you for your donations. This is going to make a huge difference. And we hope you read the heartfelt thank you letter from our adopted family that was printed in our newsletter. We are taking signups for July. So if you would like to give to our adopted family who is still afraid to come out of their house because of ICE, that is sort of lower on in the news right now because of other things going on. You are still needed because there's a lot of fear. And so please sign up with Debbie Langenbacher to support our family. Lowe's Border Shop is having a concert here on July 24th to raise money for Camino Immigration Services. We need volunteers for tickets, concessions, auction items, and more. You can see Debbie Langenbacher or you can see Natalie Cruz as well if you would like to help with that. You can borrow a copy of Lois Nettleship's book, Interfaith Inclusion, to read for our July 26th book discussion. We have a famous author in our midst and part of our congregation. Good to see you, Lois. And this Interfaith Inclusion books discussion, again, July 26th. Copies are available in our library. Dale Bott's leading a hike coming up this next Friday. Is that correct? All right. It is at Tri-City Park in Placentia. A great chance to stretch your legs and enjoy the sunshine. Given the recent earthquake devastation, we've all seen what has happened in Venezuela. We will receive a Share the Plate offering today to help with recovery efforts. Debbie Langenbacher has done a lot of homework on who to give this to. It is the International Medical Corps. And they are based in Los Angeles, rated 99% on Charity Navigator. They will help, your funds will help to get medical aid and supplies there in Venezuela to Caracas and surrounding areas, but also this money goes to training local people and surrounding and helping the infrastructure and personnel to get the training that they need. Not only for this disaster, but future disasters as well. And 100% of your offerings, aside from pledges, will go to this organization, and we appreciate your help with that. Our caring listener this week is Sophia Kang. There she is. You can speak with Sophia after the service, and trust, if you've got a problem or you just need someone to be present with you, we're not into fixing here, but we are into loving. And so we want you to feel safe and feel heard. That's really important, that we all just be present with one another. And Sophia is the perfect person to do that today. So you can find her after the service. We'll be sharing joys and sorrows a little bit later on. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern and you'd like for us to light a candle for you, the little pink pieces of paper are in the back. You can fill those out. If you have a concern and don't want to put your name on it, that's fine. It can be anonymous as well. If you're on Zoom or Facebook Live, please get those in as soon as possible so that we can include you in the service. Now, those of you in the sanctuary, we've got 1 to 2 minutes to say hello to your neighbors, and then we'll start our special not bon voyage, but see you soon to 2 very special people in our congregation. Okay, everyone, if we could have the board come on up, and if we could bring up our VIPs today, Megan Watson and Amy Stiffy. So this is not goodbye, and you'll hear more about this later, but we are wishing well two very important people foundationally for UUCF. One who is the scaffolding that keeps us together, Amy Stiffy. And the other who prepares our youth to go out into the world and equips them with knowledge about different faiths and has been instrumental in the Our Whole Lives classes, who is a teacher and who loves our youth and teaches them the values that are so important. So the gravity of this situation is that they are moving on, but we are wishing them well as Amy gets to be with her family more and gets to do the artwork that she loves and go to Disneyland. We got to do this together soon. And Megan and her husband exploring new possibilities in their lives. So this isn't goodbye to either of them. This is a celebration of them getting their roots and also giving them their wings. And they have definitely given us roots and wings as well. So this is a time of appreciation, gratitude, and wishing them well on new journeys.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Yeah. So I have some cards for both of them that have been signed by a number of people, and also have a little gift card in each one. And I've worked extensively with Amy, a little less so with Megan. And being the scaffolding is a perfect description. She is just amazing. And because you know what Megan does, and we did a teacher appreciation not too long ago, so you know she's with our religious exploration kids, and that whole bit about going out in the world and exploring not just religions, but everything. The curiosity that she brings out in the kids is amazing, and they all love her, and she's doing a great job with the teens, and it's just been spectacular. But Amy, most people don't know what Amy does. So I wrote down a few things that Amy does, and if I wrote down everything, we'd be here until Tuesday. So Amy does the announcements every single week, comes up with all the graphics, does all the wonderful wording within there. I get the pleasure of editing it, and sometimes we have some fun with that. Like maybe it was in 2029. So she does all of our banking. All of you guys who get a check for reimbursement, all of the people who get a check for being paid, she's in charge of all of that. She sends out reminders. She sends out email blasts. She gives us Zoom links. She takes care of those key fobs for the people that have a key fob to get in. She's in charge of the payroll and the budget part of that payroll, and she's worked with me extensively. And here's the thing, she had to work with me extensively all year. So, anyway, she was the one that helped us get all of our numbers resolved so that now our budget numbers and our QuickBook numbers, at least they match up. And that was a big deal. She helps with all the substitutes, when we have substitutes, when we have guest musicians, she helps pay for them and gets things set up with that. She does all kinds of permits, like our new alcohol permit that we've had for our events. That's a biggie. Yeah. So she promotes things like our flower communion and other special events that we do, our Pride Fest sign-ups, our Share the Plate, any of those kind of things come from her. She does flyers, articles, Facebook posts, and much more. She creates the order of service every week, multiple times, because it changes, and slides multiple times, because they change. And she sets up all of the automatic payments and all of the different things we do, and that is just a small list of what she accomplishes. So I cannot begin to express my gratitude for what we've done this year with Amy's help. Absolutely. And as Amy said, go ahead. Absolutely. And as Amy said, you don't have to be confused anymore because there'll only be one Amy when we're referring to an Amy for the most part, Amy Nerum, instead of everyone going, which Amy? But Amy will still be with us because she is going to be our bookkeeper. So she will be around, and I can still bug her. All right, you'll notice that we have some flowers up here, and there's a bouquet for each of you. And you can take them back to your seat, or if you don't want to hold them, you can leave them on the table, whatever you want to do. And we just want to thank you so much.
And she also writes really spunky texts to keep me in line. I'm going to miss those.
And now for our hymn of the month, we will be singing "Delight Come as a Rainbow." You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
The light comes as a rainbow, infusing us with assuring us of welcome, a covenant of care. The rainbow fills horizons, surrounding us with beauty, reminding us to honor the love that's always there. The light lives in our bodies, inspiring us to wonder, inviting us to passion, a covenant of joy. The rainbow is a present, a gift to all creation, a promise from the holy to bless and not destroy. The light grows in our healing, it draws us to each other, it helps us to imagine a covenant of peace. The rainbow is a model of difference in relation, apart and yet together, the colors never cease.
And if we can keep that slide, just go back real quick. You're going to notice on the bottom right part of the screen, there's the chalice. That means it's the last verse. So that gives you sort of an idea of where you're going. And isn't that brilliant? So we're not going, You may be seated. That's you may be seated, that chalice. So maybe I don't have to say that anymore. I now invite Natalie to light the chalice. This is Out of the Flames by Sarah Eileen The Wall. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith. With hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love. Love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Please join me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, thus do we covenant with one another.
It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, a local food bank. Please check the dates on your items. We can't donate anything that's expired. As the children come forward, they're asked to collect the donations placed at the end of the rows. And now the children are invited to come forward for the time for all ages.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning. My name is Megan Watson. I don't know, you guys probably already know that. This is Joy Ellis, our elementary teacher. And today, when we go to our classes, we are going to start our brand new summer curriculum. It's called Journeys of Deeper Joy. just to get us kind of in the mood, I'm going to paint a picture for you kiddos, and also you adults, because you're here. The air here is colder than it was on the other side of the door. Orange candlelight flickers in alcoves set back from the hallway, and lush red velvet curtains hang in archways all along the passage. Small, scaly humanoid creatures occupy this area. They clutch short spears and snarl at you, watching you with their sickly yellow eyes. A blast of wintry air hits you as the door swings open. A low, rumbling growl echoes from the chamber, and then you see it, a dragon. Coiled in the far corner of the room, it's about the size of a bear, though it stretches its long neck to glare at you with eyes like ice. White scales armor its hide, and claws like daggers scrape against the stone floor as it shifts.
What are you doing in my lair?
The dragon rumbles. What do you do? What do you do, Rose? You give it some apples? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, he's hungry. Okay. Josie, what are you going to do? Oh, we're going to go right into battle with this. I love it. Oh, the warrior's going to play the lullaby? I like that. Okay, so we've got feeding it because it's hungry. We're going to put it to sleep. Andrew, what are you doing? Giving it shaved eyes? You guys are all so nice. I love that you're being so kind. It's probably just hungry. I like that we're thinking that way. Anyone else have an idea of what they would do in this situation? If we find ourselves in this room with this dragon? What are you guys going to do? You open the door. There's this dragon. He's like, what's up? No other ideas? Michael, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like it. So I love that our whole party has kind of agreed. We're going to be nice. We're going to try and feed this / lull it to sleep. We're not fighting it. I like the vibes of this group. Let's tame it. I love it. So, for those of you uninitiated, that was from a little D&D. This is just like a intro to D&D, Dungeon Master's book. And you've probably seen Dungeons & Dragons in TV shows and movies. How many of you have ever played a tabletop role-playing game? I know that some of us have. How about out there, adults? Ooh, yeah, the nerds. I love it. All right. So tabletop role-playing games, or TTRPGs, for those in the know, they come in a wide variety. Dungeons & Dragons is probably the most popular, or D&D, you might have heard it called, but there's literally a tabletop role-playing game for everyone. There's fantasy, there's sci-fi, there's comedy, there's crime, there's horror ones, there's westerns. If you're a big western person, you can pretend to be a cowboy. It's great. So, TTRPGs combine improvisational storytelling with the luck of the dice and kind of choose your own adventure system. Every game is different because you make it up. You guys all made a great choice to be very nice. That dragon, you can talk to it and have just diplomacy with it. So you guys made a good decision. Role-playing games offer us a special opportunity for learning. In being able to play as a different character, we explore actions, ideas, and roles that we might not consider in our regular life. So I said that our summer curriculum is called Journeys of Deeper Joy, and that's actually a UUA-sponsored tabletop role-playing game for all ages. It's part of the Deeper Joy focus, and it seeks to offer our kiddos or our whole congregation an opportunity to creatively develop a sense of community. The principles of Deeper Joy, as outlined by the writers of the curriculum, are: 1, play is how we learn how to be human with each other. Joy is building capacity together to get more free. Cohesive community is grown, not created overnight, and belonging is something people of all ages crave. Religious education is for everyone, not just children and youth, which we here at UUCF embrace because we have our adult RE and our youth RE. And worship and spiritual practice is for everyone, not just adults. So, if this sounds good to you, if you're an adult that's like, I think I might be into this TTRPG shenanigans, please feel free to join our journey this summer. You can be a lore keeper, which is what we call GMs or DMs in this system, or if you would like to be a character that our journeyers will encounter on their travels this summer. We totally welcome you to come and join us in RE, because we're going to be having a lot of fun. So right now, we're going to go make our characters, and you guys get to decide who you get to be in this little journey. Let's go.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
It is time for our joys, our concerns, our sorrows. We have many joys. We have some concerns and sorrows as well. For those of you who have been following along, Charlie was attacked by a coyote, my little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. I've been putting updates on Facebook or Instagram and Threads. So if you'd like to friend me, that'd be great, and follow along. He's home and jumping around and amazing. So relieved, and thank you for all of your concerns. Please get your pets pet insurance. Please do that. We are blessed to have that, and so I would encourage you all to do that. A joy from Connor Atwood. I was so glad to join community members yesterday at Santa Ana Pride with friends, both new and old. A text from Aaron O'Donnell, who's watching. A joy, we are forever grateful for having Megan there for our teen group and hangouts. Evie and Sadie adore her. We wish her the best in life. Keep spreading that joy, Megan. From Jocelyn Shiramoto, celebrated Frank's birthday this past Friday. Happy birthday, Frank. Allison Daniels, a joy. You want to come up here? Light your candles. Okay, you all, they would have to light 40 candles for the 40 years they've been married. Happy anniversary today. She writes, we are looking forward to sharing many more years and adventures together. A concern for and from Shelby. My amazing pops, Tony Harris, took a bad fall this week and was in the hospital. He is home and doing better, but it is time to move him to assisted living. Please, may we be able to afford this, and may the timing work out for the best for his health and my anxiety. Thank you. I love you, UUCF, and we love you, Shelby. Our thoughts and prayers and love and light are sent to you and your pops and your mom, who has been through so much as well. A joy from Amy Neeram. The Neeram family has been having a great time going on summer adventures. Catalina, Crestline Down, Palm Springs, and Sedona on deck soon. You have to go to Sedonuts. Just for the wordplay. It's amazing. Congratulations on having a joyful summer as well. A joy from Linda Summers. My granddaughter, Dylan's softball team has made it to the California State Finals. That is huge. And then finally, a concern from Jay. My elderly mother has been targeted in an online scam and is entangled in between accepting reality or continuing the drama of it. My siblings and I are having a difficult time navigating this and trying to guide her to safety and sanity. It has been very hard on us. We light a candle for your family, Jay, and are so sorry that your mom has been targeted. There is so much going on in this complicated, complex world. 24-hour news cycle, a ceasefire that doesn't seem to be holding, earthquakes and natural disasters. We have what should be a celebration coming up in the next week, celebrating the independence of the United States. And again, in this space, we can hold all of those feelings together. Yes, we can watch fireworks and celebrate with our family because we continue to fight in love for our democracy. We can celebrate the dreams of our forefathers who fell very short of their own ideals, and we continue to see our government fall short. So wherever you are in this celebration or observation, we hold that space for you. And we light a candle for all the joys and concerns and sorrows that are in our hearts, but maybe we just don't know what to say about them, and we don't know what to do this July 4th, and that's okay. The best thing that we can do is be together and support one another and observe or celebrate or ignore. Wherever you are, that's okay, because we are going through a time of collective grief and trauma, and we're not going to paint glitter over that and just move on like it is a normal celebration. So wherever you are when it comes to Independence Day and this 250th anniversary, which should be so special, make it meaningful for you. Whatever that means. Yeah, it's hard. So we light one more candle for all of these feelings. And let us read on the screen our wishes in light and love. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
For our next hymn, we'll be singing What a Wonderful World. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
What I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes.
Let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You may close your eyes, take a deep breath, look at one spot on the floor, whatever helps you. Find your center.
Japji Sahib, one universal creator God. The name is truth, creative being personified, no fear, no hatred, image of the undying, beyond birth, self-existent, by Guru's grace. Chant and meditate. Ek onkar Satnam karta purak Nirabo niraver kal murat Ajuni sebang Guru Parasad jap. True in the primal beginning, true throughout the ages, true here and now, O Nanak, forever true and true. Ad sacha, jugad sacha, hai bhi sacha, Nanak hosi bhi sacha. By thinking, he cannot be reduced to thought, even by thinking hundreds of thousands of times. By remaining silent, inner silence is not obtained, even by remaining lovingly absorbed deep within. Soche suchana hovei, che sochi lakvar. Chupe chupe na hovei, jelai raha livatar. The hunger of the hungry is not appeased, even by piling up loads upon worldly goods, hundreds of thousands of clever tricks, but not even one of them will go along with you in the end. Bukya bukna utteri je pana purya para Sehsalyana palaka hoye ta ikna chale nal. So how can you become truthful, and how can the veil of illusion be torn away? O Nanak, it is written that you shall obey the hukam of his command and walk in the way of his will. Kiv sachiara hoye, kiv kure tutte pale. Hukam rajai chalena, Nanak likya nal.
Thank you, Christine. That was beautiful. And now a reading from the book, See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love by Valerie Kaur. Love is a form of sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving, a choice we make over and over again. Love as labor can be taught, modeled, and practiced. This labor engages all of the emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we've reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. Revolutionary love is the choice to labor for others, for our opponents, and for ourselves in order to transform the world around us. It begins with wonder. You are a part of me I do not yet know. It is not a formal code or prescription, but an orientation to life that is personal and political, sustained by joy. Loving only ourselves is escapism. Loving only our opponents is self-loathing. Loving only others is ineffective. All three practices together make love a revolution. Revolutionary, and revolutionary love can only be practiced in community.
So today begins our series on Valerie Kaur's book, Manifesto of Love. Katya, thank you so much for your Sikh prayer. I will be calling it Sikhism because that is the apparently correct pronunciation. If you would like to get the book, I would encourage you to. It has many stories. Today, we start, as the book talks about, with wonder. Each week, it will be framed as courage to wonder. Next week will be courage to grieve on Independence Day. The next chapter is courage to rage. I thought, does this fit? Courage to grieve on Independence Day? Courage to rage? Believe me, it's going to fit next week. You know, there's something happening to us in this moment of history that we rarely pause along enough to notice. At least that's the way it looks. It has to do with the way that we get information, the way we receive it, the way we process the world and ultimately see one another. Only 15 minutes after the Venezuelan earthquake, we saw the pictures like it was in our own backyard. That is so different from like the Vietnam War or wars before that, where it took a while for the film to be developed and then transferred, or pictures to be on the front pages. Now, everything is in our own backyard, and the news at its best exists to inform. Journalism practiced with integrity and courage is one of the foundations. It is democracy. A free society depends on people who investigate truth, verify facts, and tell stories that help us in a free country understand the complicated and complex world we share. And as someone who has a degree in journalism, still teaches it, I believe it deeply. I remind my students often that journalism is not merely writing. It is democracy. It is a public trust. It is a duty. Democracies cannot survive without people who are willing to ask difficult questions and stand there like Caitlin Collins does with no smile on her face. She and others who are not lapdog journalists, who are not watchdog journalists, but are now in attack dog journalism, because that's what we need, are asking those questions, are examining evidence carefully and speaking truth to power. But something complicated happens when the news cycle never stops, when information arrives not once a day in the morning paper, but constantly, relentlessly. And we know that's on purpose, to overwhelm us. The human nervous system was never designed to absorb tragedies every hour of the day. War and violence and natural disasters, fear and outrage, story follows story. And over time, something subtle begins to shift inside of us, not because we're cruel or uncaring, but because the pace of modern life trains our attention in a particular way. We in LA and Orange County know this inherently. We move quickly through life. And in our news, we move quickly from headline to headline, from breaking news. Not everything is breaking news, you all. I get tired of seeing that graphic because it is intended to activate our nervous system and is way overused. And then it's the boy who cried wolf. It just feels like everything's just waiting around the corner. And we have faces flashing across the screen, and names and human beings and statistics. And then communities become talking points. Slowly, almost without noticing it, the people inside those stories begin to disappear. They become categories. And there's something in the medical industry and in the psychological industry called compassion fatigue. We get overwhelmed, and it's a human thing. Watch The Pit on HBO Max. It's compassion fatigue, and we go through it as well. It is precisely into this kind of world that Valerie Kaur speaks when she writes about the spiritual practice of wonder in the book, and it's a long title, See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. Kaur writes that seeing no stranger begins with wonder. To wonder, she says, is to look upon the face of another and say, "You are a part of me I do not yet know." If that's the only thing you get out of this sermon, take that with you. You are a part of me I do not yet know. It sounds like a simple sentence, but it contains an entire spiritual vision. Kaur writes that when she was little, she experienced the world through this sense of connection. She says, the earth under me, the stars above me, the animals around me, were all part of me. And wonder was my first orientation to them all, the thing that connected me to them all. It's a powerful image because it feels in our spirits kind of familiar. Maybe like going home to that spiritual connection that maybe we've lost with all this news and being overwhelmed. Because before the world teaches us who to fear, before culture tells us who belongs and who doesn't, many children move through life with a natural sense of awe and connection. The earth feels alive, animals feel like companions, other people feel mysterious rather than threatening. And then over time, we inherit stories and labels and stereotypes. We grow away from home. And this is to remind us to be a kid again. Because right now it's hard. I'm going to use the word absorb. I think it's a good word. We absorb assumptions through media. Take a look at some movies back in the 80s about women, and you will see them in the kitchen. Take a look at movies in 2026, and you'll see women in the kitchen. That's a big effect on us. Whether we know it or not, we absorb these assumptions about gender and race and religion and nationality. We learn who is us and who is them. We breathe these stories in through media and movies and European history, which most of us got a Eurocentric version of history that we grew up with without realizing it. And Kaur writes something striking about this. She says that these stereotypes become so deeply embedded in culture that even people from marginalized communities begin to internalize fear and suspicion toward other people who look like themselves. You'll see that even at Pride. In one brain imaging study, she references many Black people, queer people, and women exhibited unconscious fear responses when shown images of people from their own groups. That is not an accident. That is meant by design by people in power to divide and oppress. And then she writes this haunting sentence: we live in a culture that makes us strange to ourselves. So today we're coming home to our childhood, to that wonder, because that line stopped me when I read it. It's familiar for me and my internal homophobia that I had as a child and growing up in the church. We live in a culture that makes us strange to ourselves, because it suggests the opposite of wonder is not merely hatred. The opposite of wonder is estrangement and disconnection, and forgetting that we belong to one another. And this is where Cal roots her understanding of wonder in the Sikh tradition. Sikhism, Sikh, okay? How many Americans know very little about Sikhism beyond perhaps seeing a turban and making assumptions? Sikhism emerged about 5 centuries ago in Punjab, in what is now northern India and Pakistan, during a period of horrible war between Hindus and Muslims. Kaur tells the story this way. She writes, "My favorite was our origin story, the story of Guru Nanak, the first teacher of the Sikh faith. 5 centuries ago, the story goes, halfway around the world in a village in Punjab, the Indian subcontinent, there lived a young man named Nanak. He was deeply troubled by the violence around him, Hindus and Muslims in turmoil. One day, according to the story, Nanak disappeared into a river for 3 days. People believed he had drowned. But when he emerged, he carried with him a vision of profound interconnectedness. What Sikhs call onkar, the oneness of humanity and all existence. The spiritual truth of 3 days, right? Going and people thinking that he had died, and then he comes out enlightened. We can make some connections there, right? With other faiths. Kaur writes that this vision threw him into a state of ecstatic wonder. He began singing songs of devotion, praising the divine within him and around him. And then she writes these beautiful words. In other words, he was in love. Love made him see with new eyes. Everyone around him was a part of him that he did not yet know. From that vision came Guru Nanak's declaration, I see no stranger, I see no enemy. Imagine how radical those words must have sounded at a time of bloody war and division. And perhaps, well, not perhaps, really, they're still radical now. Because we are living in a world that constantly trains us to identify enemies. Politics profits from division. Media ecosystems thrive on outrage. Entire industries depend upon keeping people suspicious, reactive, and afraid. And into that world comes this ancient spiritual vision whispering to us in our souls, there are no strangers here. Only people we do not yet know. Kaur explains that Sikhism teaches there is a voice inside us, the Humai, the ego self that experiences itself as separate from everyone else. It is the I that insists on division and isolation, but Sikhism teaches that separateness is ultimately an illusion. And spiritual practices like the music that Katya brought us, the meditation, the prayer, the song, the recitation, help quiet that illusion long enough for us to remember a deeper truth. We belong to one another. Kaur describes her father humming sacred songs throughout the day, not merely as prayer, but as practice. Remember, we practice. We practice every day to love. He was rehearsing wonder, training himself to remember connection. Rehearsing wonder. I love that phrase because wonder is not a simple feeling that arrives spontaneously. Wonder is a practice, it is a discipline, it is a spiritual orientation of retraining. I say retraining because we got to go back to when we were younger and remember the foundation upon which we were born to love. And modern neuroscience now confirms what spiritual traditions have taught for centuries. The brain changes according to what we repeatedly practice. Can everybody say neuroplasticity, right? Neural pathways strengthen through repetition. Patterns of fear and suspicion can become deeply embedded, but so can compassion and curiosity and empathy. And Kaur writes that scientific discoveries about the brain's plasticity now affirm that it is possible to retrain ourselves and go back home to where we began, which means the habits of fear we absorb from culture are not permanent. There's the hope. So Kaur began a simple daily practice. As she moved through her day, she silently said to herself, sister, brother, sibling, aunt, uncle, or simply, you are part of me I do not yet know. She says she practices not only with people, but with her animals, with trees, and the earth itself. And honestly, what if this became part of our spiritual practice too? This is not a magical switch that solves injustice. It doesn't remove accountability, but it retrains the heart against dehumanization, against cynicism, against apathy, against the temptation to say, we are divided, you are different from me, it's me against you. I think this matters more than we realize because the failure to wonder is dangerous. And Kaur warns us that once people stop wondering about others, once they no longer imagine the inner life of another human being, empathy begins to shut down. And once empathy disappears, violence bubbles up and becomes easier. And married to a historian, my husband talks about that a lot. We see it in history. Wonder interrupts that process, and it insists on more of a complex world. Wonder pauses long enough to ask, what is the story I do not yet know? We have a lot of teachers in here, and every teacher has experienced this moment. A student withdrawn, angry, frustrated, but then one conversation reveals a hidden grief, a family crisis, a struggle no one else could see. Nothing about that student had changed. Suddenly, everything looks different. Wonder entered the room. And once wonder enters, compassion has room to grow. And that is why it matters spiritually. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition speaks often about the inherent worth and dignity of every person, but that principle and value becomes more than words only when we practice seeing one another deeply. And wonder is what allows theology to become embodied. Wonder transforms strangers into fellow human beings. Wonder reminds us that every person we encounter carries an interior universe that we don't know and cannot see. And perhaps this is also why Sikh identity itself became intentionally visible. Kaur explains that in 1699, the Sikh community was formed into a beloved community committed to justice, courage, and service. Sikhs adopted visible articles of faith, including turbans, so they could never disappear anonymously into a crowd. She writes, "Sikhs do not hide," her father said. The visible symbols were meant to ensure that Sikhs could never hide from the responsibility to serve others and fight for justice. What an idea. Visibility not as an ego, but as an accountability, a public commitment to love. And perhaps there's something deeply relevant about that for us as Unitarian Universalists too, because we also live in a moment when it is tempting to hide, to turn away from suffering, to numb ourselves, but wonder calls us back into relationship, back into the difficult but sacred world and work of seeing one another fully. So perhaps this invitation before us this week is not complicated. Perhaps it begins by paying attention again, by slowing down long enough to notice the humanity present in the people around us, by quietly practicing the words Kaur offers. You are a part of me I do not yet know. So may we leave this place committed to rehearsing wonder. May we train and practice so our hearts go toward connection rather than fear. And may we remember, even in an age that profits from division, the ancient truth whispered by Guru Nanak centuries ago is, I see no stranger, I see no enemy.
So as Rev Rob mentioned earlier, today we're going to share the plate with the people of Venezuela. 100% of the non-pledge offerings will go to support their recovery efforts through the International Medical Corps. A basket is being brought around the sanctuary, and there are payment options on the screens. Whatever you're able to give is received with gratitude. We thank you for your commitment and generosity.
Beatles fans enjoyed that, right? Thank you, Christine. As you leave this place, may you choose and practice wonder over certainty and curiosity, over fear and relationship, over judgment. May you look into the face of every person you meet and quietly remember, you are a part of me I do not yet know. And let me say this matters more with the people you may disagree with most. We as Unitarian Universalists don't just practice love when it's easy. We do it when it is hard. May those words soften your heart toward those people. Deepen your compassion for your neighbor and even your enemy, and remind you that the divine is always larger than what any one of us can see alone. Go now with courage to wonder, courage to see, and the courage to love this beautiful, unfinished world into being. We now extinguish this chalice, which seems to be extinguished. But not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so we say together, Amen, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1074, Turn the World Around. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit, and join us in singing.
from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. We come from the mountains, living in the mountains. Go back to the mountains, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life.
Please join us for our food and fellowship. Thank you all so much.